Hi everybody, I'm Delicia. Thanks for stopping by the Cigar Vixen channel. Today I'm gonna be lighting up this Maniac, and correctly named in my opinion. This is not a typical cigar that I would smoke because I don't really like anything that's this large of a ring gauge. And again, my opinion, personal preference. Doesn't mean that it's not good, doesn't mean that you guys might not like it. So I'm gonna be open-minded. It kind of came as a request to review this one, so I'm doing that again based on a request for it. So to tell you a little bit about it, it's made by Sindicato. It has a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper and then Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's made in Nicaragua. And again, it comes in this beastly 7x70, and it actually has another one that has just your typical, smooth type of tip, not the little figurado shape. That's also a 7x70. So very large. This is going to be, my guess is this was catered towards maybe like the golfer type of a person that just wants something that's long lasting. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and just get into it, and we'll see how many fun, inappropriate comments this particular review gets, because I'm sure that that's coming naturally. But yeah, just thought I'd step outside of my comfort zone, and I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit off here. Oh, huge. Oh my goodness, it's like a little obscene. Okay, so it has a very open draw. It's like sucking through a straw. Got a little bit of like a sour type of I don't know what that is, like a sour bitter almost type of a note on the cold draw. So hopefully that's not a sign of what's to come. But we'll see. This is a good time when, if you had one of those tabletop lighters or like those huge weapon looking lighters, would be great for this because it's super huge. Again, 70 ring gauge is just like, wow. They must have had fun at the factory rolling this, I can imagine. But again, to each his own. The most important thing is the construction and the flavor. So how does it smoke and how does it taste? Everything else is just, preference, opinion, whatnot. So this literally lights up like a flashlight head because it's huge. So it reminds me of something. I'm trying to think what it is. Similar to something I've smoked, and it's going to take me a minute to think about what that is. It has a similarity of something. It's like reminding me of something else. But there's still that little hint of like a sour something. It's kind of making the inside of my mouth like pucker, like a like there's just something sour. It's hitting that part of my tongue. It has just a little hint of that sour. There is a background of some cedar and little hint of like a floral something. So yeah, it's has a decent aroma to it. I would not say that this has that initial welcoming, nice to meet you type of a greeting to it, which I generally look for because I feel like the first few puffs of your cigar should make you want to continue to smoke it. This one, not necessarily, but we'll see. I mean, maybe this one is going to start off that way and maybe it's going to progress into something a little bit better. But so far, Yeah, just it's not bad. It's just not necessarily like a wow, I'm so excited to smoke this kind of a feeling to it, if that makes sense. But I'm gonna still go ahead and smoke it down more, and I'm gonna check back in with you for the second third to talk about any changes in the flavor. So back for the second third on the Maniac. The burn line is kind of, it's kind of all over. I mean, it's like very jagged, but that's not affecting the draw. The draw is very, very open. Again, kind of like a straw. It's like super easy draw, which actually makes the smoke time a little bit faster than I thought. The flavors, though, are pretty much the same. There is nothing new to report from when I first lit it up and was smoking that first third to now. I still am getting a hint of something sour that I can't quite put my finger on, but it's just not really up my alley. I mean, it's just kind of a little bit bitter, just like a sour something. Maybe like, I mean, it has those floral interests, and there's a little bit of kind of a citrus in there. Still a little bit of the cedar, kind of like reminds me of burning wood, burning cedar is kind of like the flavoring, but then there's just that something sour that's in there, that's just really not pleasant to me. What was I gonna say too? It's just no, I think that was it. There's just nothing new to report on the flavor side, but again, it just has a very easy draw, so that part is good. I'm gonna continue to smoke it down, and I will be back for the final third with hopefully something different to tell you. So I'm down to the last third on the Maniac Bellicoso, major colossal size here. And unfortunately, I just did not care for this cigar. It remained kind of like without any sort of complexity to it the entire time. It's not a strong cigar, so it is something that if you're a fan of like the large ring gauges and you don't want anything strong, it's very, very mild. But that also unfortunately goes hand in hand on this one with the flavor. There's nothing special about the flavor other than the fact that I found it to be very sour, and now at this last part it's turned harsh. So I'm actually gonna like set it down now because I can't do it anymore. I tried, and this would be a cigar that if I wasn't doing a review, I would have just set it down and called it a day, probably about the halfway point, because it just didn't have anything that interested me, and it wasn't even pleasant. There's some cigars that lack the complexity, but they're still not a bad smoke. That one just I found to be again sour, kind of harsh, especially towards this last part. What I will say is that the price point is only $8, so it was actually funny because I was at a lounge the other night and I was talking to somebody that mentioned that it's such a shame when you have people come over that are not really into cigars, but they'll kind of like, because you're smoking, say, oh yeah, let me have a cigar, and then they'll finish maybe like the first third of it and set it down. And we were joking about you have to get some of those cigars that are inexpensive and the cigars that are maybe like just aren't good cigars, and those are kind of going to be the ones that you're going to give to those types of people. This one would probably fall into that category of giving this cigar to somebody who's not really into cigars, that maybe just wants a cigar for the golf course, that they don't really ever smoke. Unfortunately, I would put this cigar into that category. And again, I don't like to do bad reviews, but this one just really wasn't on point at all. I did not care for it. The burn line was kind of off, but again, the draw itself was fine. And it wasn't that the flavors were particularly terrible. They just weren't good. I mean, it didn't have that complexity and just had that really sour harshness to it that I didn't care for. And I don't know too many people that do. However, everybody has a different palate. So again, at the $8 price point that it is, it's not bad to go ahead and just, tell you to give it a try and see if you like it. But I would be kind of surprised if you did. But again, everybody has their own palate. But regardless, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. Cheers.